And we're supposed to share anything about Drama Desk Awards.
I'll go right ahead.
My only Drama Desk thing that I really loved was there was a year in which 3 solo shows were nominated. Mandy Patinkin for Dress Casual, Robert Morse for True, and Kathryn Grody for A Mom's Life, and thank God Robert Morse won. Would you like to explain the rules today? They're rules.
Oh yeah, I'm just dying to do that. Just bear with me, this is like watching paint dry. So a little bit of housekeeping here. Today's rules, I don't know where they got this, obviously from some previously written script before this year and before this strike. Thank you all for supporting the Writers Guild strike. One community. I have a wish and a dream one day that it will be one union, all of them together. That's how you have leverage. We're the storytellers for the world. Let's get it together and make things happen so that corporations stop leading the game, and artists and all the people, artists, producers are not the enemy, by the way. It's a corporate system here that needs to take what they deserve, but share and be a little more equitable. That's how this world should be. I just want to say something when I was listening to her speak, and the privilege of being here listening to all the people that I've already heard speak. I think about our ancestors who have been in this room, in this building, in this community, and who have inspired us to be everything we ever wanted to be and keep our hearts beating to be more than we ever dreamed of being. And I heard her talk about her mom, and I thought of my favorite line for me from all of literature. And it came from the libretto of a musical called Carousel by Oscar Hammerstein. And it was and is and always will be, as long as there's one person on earth who remembers you, it isn't over. So I say that for her and for all of us.
So this next award is for outstanding puppetry. And one of our favorite things we ever saw, I don't know how many of you got to see Mike Disfarmer. Probably not. No, see, nobody. It's this is what I do hate. Oh yeah, yes, you did. Great. Okay, this was one of the great pieces that we saw. I think it was at St. Anne's. It was so great. It had the Japanese puppets. You know, they started out little, and then as he got older, it was so phenomenal. We were crazy enough. We loved it so much. We actually thought of flying our young son from North Carolina up for a night to see it. We knew that was not good parenting. It was great. And an unnamed
Oh, no, I'm naming them. I'm naming them. Oh, yes, I'm naming them. Are there, the Drama Guild, to my understanding, somebody correct me, but it's not a group of critics, or is it both critics and others? Is it everything? I hope it's everything. And for critics, are there any critics here? Yeah. Great. So for those of you here, I'm glad you're here. And for those of you who aren't here, please tell your critical compatriots. I will never forget this evening. I wrote down just a couple notes so I didn't get it wrong. It was at St. Anne's Warehouse. I was there.
2009.
I was there on Kathryn and I went there January 31st, 2009, St. Anne's Warehouse in Brooklyn. It was called Disfarmer. It was with these puppets. It told an extraordinary story. It was one of the most original things I had ever witnessed or imagined or seen in my entire life. And the next morning, I open up the New York Times and I read a review by Charles Isherwood. Charles, are you here? No? Okay. I read a review by Charles Isherwood, and Kathryn, and he pans it. It was the most inspiring thing I'd ever seen. Pans it, and Kathryn said to me, I said, he must have seen it on a different night. I mean, clearly, we all have good nights and bad nights, so obviously that's what happened. Kathryn said, he was sitting next to you. And I just want to say something very clearly. That play closed. that
Never went on tour.
Never went on tour. It destroyed it. Please understand the responsibility we all have to each other as a community. And how important it is, as Kathryn says often when she talks about talking to playwrights, how you say the good things first, and then you say some critical things. Couch it in love and kindness. I have been privileged to work with refugees, and we're all refugees in this country. And a little 10-year-old boy who was an artist in Serbia, an Afghan refugee, I said to him on a park bench, I said, you know, Farad Nouri was his name. I said, Farad, maybe some people will get to see this. What do you want people to know? He said, I want them to know kindness. Refugees need kindness, not just for me, but for refugees everywhere. Well, artists, actors, writers, producers, theater goers, critics, we all need kindness. So you can be critical, we all have opinions, but couch it in kindness.
And respect for the arduous task of making anything creative.
And, yes. Because it's a serious business when those of you in this room and others who have been in this room and will come to this room spend their lives getting to the point of having the guts to create something. Take care. As Jaime Gates, I used to know him. Anybody know who Jaime Gates is in the room? Jaime Gates was known as the mayor of 45th Street. He was the property man at the Morosco Theater before they turned it down. And he was an old Jewish guy when I was there doing what Michael Christopher's played Shadowbox. And he used to say to me, you know what they say? When you leave New York, you go camping. Well, that's bullshit. In this theater, I was with 17 Pulitzer Prize-winning plays. 17, Voice of a Turtle, Death of a Salesman. I will never forget. Every night, I would go to the back of the theater in Death of a Salesman. When Millie Donick was up there with Arthur Kennedy and Cameron, what's his name? And he was sitting there, and I would stand at the back of the theater with the lady who took the tickets. And when that mother would say to those two boys, attention must be paid, you could hear a pin drop. And I think of those lines every day of my life. And I think of everything we all do, and how all and only reason we're doing it is for attention to be paid to all those who are gathered to listen. And bless Jaime and Arthur Miller and Millie Donick and all of you to make attention being paid a life source for the fragile world we're living in and the storytelling giants that you are. So thanks. Your words were how much you have touched us and how privileged we all feel to be in this room with all of you. I certainly feel that way. Bless you. I want you to know that I was just told we're running 45 minutes behind. And I'm dead serious, I do not want to rush anyone. You have certainly seen enough of Kathryn and myself for a lifetime, so we are going to rush through our words and say the names clearly, and so that you can take your time when you're up here to have your moment. Life is short, and don't rush it.
Yeah.
But I'll just get past. I just have to make one correction. This is a correction I was just handed. This isn't my normal bullshit. So I love this correction. The outstanding sound design for a play that was awarded to Ben and Max Ringham was said to be the play was said to be announced as prima facie, but indeed, as all sound men that I've experienced are pretty much deaf. The sound man forgot to say, no, the play was called A Doll's House, so not prima facie. So I love that he didn't even hear that they announced it incorrectly. Wow! Kathryn and I were standing on the picket line a week or so ago, a couple weeks ago. Bob Odenkirk came by, and the three of us were walking together. And he said, you know, I was here in 2008, writing for Saturday Night Live. You look around, there was nothing but white men. That was it. Old white men everywhere. He said, look here today. Everybody's here. Every age, color, sexual preference. It was extraordinary. Things in this fragile world that are so painful at times are improving, and we must never forget it. You did this one.
No, I did that.
Okay, I do it. I'm sorry, it's me.
You do it, right.
Okay. Thank you, Tova. Oh, things have been rearranged. I love this. As we come to the end. What happened? Oh, you together?
Yeah, but no.
Oh, no, please, I don't want to.
Come on, honey, go ahead.
Oh, it's garbage. Do it together.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. You read it. You read better than me.
Okay.
Go.
As we come to the end of our afternoon, we have the great honor of getting to announce...
No, you got this award here. This is the
first
award
award.
for outstanding
Oh,
new
that was
play.
Tova. Oh, that was Tova.
Oh, that was Tova.
No,
Is that done?
the final awards of our program, right, Stacey?
Did we do the outstanding new play?
Yes. No,
Yeah.
first.
What? No, we didn't. We have
The
two awards.
award of the-
Move aside, lady.
Oh,
Move aside. The award for outstanding new play. We'd like to recognize the nominees. I got a little confused. Give me a
Case
break.
for the Existence of God by Samuel D. Hunter. Fat Ham by James E. Yams. Love by Alexander Zeldin. Prima Facie by Susie Miller. Wish You Were Here by Sanas Tosi.
Thank you for doing that for me. The award for outstanding new play goes to Leopoldstadt by Thomas. Well, that finishes it up. There'll be drinks and treats over by the bar. It has been beyond a privilege to be in the company of everyone in this room and those who weren't able to make it. My God, am I glad we said yes. Thank you.